Chargers, they got themselves a big win over the Chiefs yesterday. We'll talk about that. So the Chiefs have been officially eliminated from the postseason. And dude, it sucks because now Patrick Mahomes has torn his ACL. It happens near the end of that game. And they were in field goal range to go and tie that ball game too. And Minshew throws that interception. But it sucks because it's the same thing with Parsons. This is not even for the rest of this season, right? The Packers tearing your ACL 3 games before the freaking playoffs, man, is absolutely brutal because that changes the trajectory of the entire postseason if the Packers wind up making it there. For the Chiefs, even though they're eliminated for this year, this is going to bleed into next year because you don't know how long it's going to take for him to recover, right? This is both Parsons and Mahomes. Yeah. So unfortunately, like starting off next season, you don't know what the status of your QB1 is if you're the Chiefs. And like that's pretty horrific way to end an already difficult season for Kansas City.
Yeah, I think like they have to determine the extent of the injury. I don't think there's any updates on that yet outside of that they know he tore the ACL completely. But then, you got to get the MRI. You got to see if there's any other damage, if anything else needs to be repaired. That affects your recovery and your return time. There are people like drawing the comparisons to like the Tom Brady ACL tear. Both Mahomes and Brady doing it in their 9th seasons, coming off a year after they lost a Super Bowl, like all this dumb shit. But what I know about Mahomes is I think like when you look at recovery windows, I think he'll be starting the season week 1. Now, we watched Adrian Peterson tear his ACL late, return and rush for, an ungodly amount of yards. I think it was 2,000, I think, coming off the ACL. When Mahomes dislocated his knee years ago playing the Broncos and he returned like 3 weeks later, I think he's going to, I feel like he's going to recover that way. And I'm trying to give Chiefs fans a little bit of optimism, just so you guys know I am not a complete asshole, okay? And when you look at guys, Joe Burrow tore his ACL, he returned, he was good. Tom Brady tore his ACL, returned, he was good. Phillip Rivers tore his ACL, he returned, he was good. And one John Elway played his entire career without an ACL. So it does suck this year, but I expect Mahomes to bounce back.
Yeah, we just got to see what the severity of it is.
Now, that said, and just know this has nothing to do with Mahomes' injury. This is just about the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Chiefs only. The witch is dead. The witch is dead. The witch, old witch. The witch is dead. You're fucking dead. The witch is dead. The witch is dead. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs. And it feels nice. It feels nice. ESPN just posted Chiefs eliminated. Last night, that thing had like 87,000 likes. I think it's over 90,000 this morning. So football fans are happy to not have to deal with the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I think there's a graphic that said it was Brady, Mahomes, and Manning. This is the first playoff since 98.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It is crazy.
Perna, I got a 50.
Well, thank you, Super EB player. The Taylor Swift curse. Well, I mean, they did win. They did win a Super Bowl with Taylor. Did they win 2 Super Bowls once they started dating, or was it just 1 Super Bowl win and a loss? I think 1.
It was at least 1. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Timing. I don't know about one.
Can't remember. With the Chiefs out of the playoffs, though, does this open the door for the Bills? That's a big question I think everybody has.
Sure.
But the the playoffs are always crazy. It doesn't really matter who's in there because the teams that get into the playoffs are good. I do want to see Bills and Patriots. I kind of want that rematch in the playoffs now. They split the series. Jags could be dangerous.
Yep. Texans,
Ravens can make a push. The Bengals got completely shut out. That was a little surprising.
Yeah, they aren't the only one. Yeah, Bengals getting shut out was surprising. The freaking Saints, man. Holy God. Shuck again. Gotta shout them out. They now have swept the Panthers. And now the Buccaneers are atop the NFC South again. Again, they have it all in front of them. Whoever's going to win those 2 games is going to wind up going into the postseason. But
thank you, Chargers. You beat the Chiefs, and your quarterback only had one functioning hand. One functioning hand. This game, though, it's the Chargers defense that, in my opinion, was the star of this game. They sacked Mahomes 5 times. You rarely see Mahomes take 5 sacks in a football game. 2 picks. One was the game ender from Gardner Minshew, but I think it was Deion Henley who had the pick of Mahomes in the red zone that stopped a Chiefs drive late in this game. So yeah, it's the Chargers defense is a problem. Kansas City did a pretty good job against the Chargers run game, and early in this game, it looked like the Chargers weren't going to have a chance to win this. Like the Chiefs were kind of dominating this game early, but they just hung around. Like the Chargers hung around, and to me, they're like one of the hardest teams to close out and beat. They don't give up. Things are going to be ugly every week. And I think down the stretch here, it's going to continue to be ugly. Well, they got the Cowboys. We'll call that a bye. But then they got Houston and Denver in 2 games they have to win to end this season. Unless, of course, Denver's clinched and we're giving them the Chiefs treatment and resting our starters. Not sure yet.
That's the thing about the Chargers, too, is because like even if they just get a wild card spot, like they're playing like, all right, you have to worry about their offensive line, of course, but dude, they're a gritty ass football team this year.
Yeah, and their line is not good, and they're keeping extra dudes out there. I think they're using like Penning as an extra tackle on plays, lining him up as like tight end. They're using a ton of Scott Matlock at fullback. So they're trying to get protection in other ways, and they're still struggling to get protection. But after the first quarter, like their game plan looked like crap. And then it kind of felt like they found sort of how to chip away at this one.
And again, the Chiefs were about to tie it at the end too. Mahomes gets injured and then it's an interception. But hey, close divisional game on the road. I think the Broncos are going to win a playoff game.
I hope so, man. Every game's close, but I like the way the Broncos are winning.
I saw that. Isn't that like against regulations that they didn't clean the snow off of the seats? I could have sworn that I saw something about that yesterday. Yeah, it's not great.
That does suck. Go to the game, snow still on your chair. Got a frozen butt.
They're violating NFL policy for not cleaning snow. That's what takes down the Bengals. It's not like, not getting Joe Burrow an offensive line or like all this crap with Trey Hendrickson. It's they didn't clean the snow off the seats.
Too cheap to pay for snow removal. And instead, hopefully the fine is more than what the snow removal would have cost them to do.
That's it. Oh, Carl, I know that would put a smile on Satan's face.